In today's episode of Spiraling Up, hey, we are in person together. Guys, what's going on?
You met the assignment on that intro, by the way. You really achieved it.
100%.
Joe told me to give the best, deepest in. Yeah, we had to. We're in person, guys. What's going on? It's great to see you guys.
I'm amazed that we were able to pull this off, honestly. Shout out to producer John.
Producer
our guy.
John.
But yeah, no, we've got our backdrop set up. We're here at the AAM Summit in Phoenix, Arizona. It is awesome to be here. It's awesome to see you.
Yep.
Coming from a different continent to join us.
Yep. So the AAM Summit, for those that don't know, this is the Association for Accounting Marketing. Every year they do a summit somewhere within the United States. It brings together all the world's leading accounting marketers, accounting business development, sales leaders. They all gather here at this conference. And Hinge has had a long-standing partnership with the Association for Accounting Marketing for over a decade now. As everybody knows, Hinge, we do research quite a bit.
We do.
It's within our DNA. And years ago, we set up a research partnership with the association to understand how are these different companies budgeting for marketing. And in our own special way, we always apply that high growth methodology to the study. So not only are we seeing what other people are doing in their marketing budgets, we're also seeing what the fastest growing companies are doing with their marketing budgets. And so this year has been great. We had one of our team members, Will Casserly, give a keynote speech.
Kill it.
Here on the results, and it was super well received. So deep, great marketing partnership with AIM. And yeah, I mean, all that is great, but like we said, even better to be here together in person. Mary Blanche, how are you? This is your first summit.
It is.
As well as mine, but I'm interested. What have you, how have you enjoyed the conference so far? Has there, what has been a highlight for you so far?
Sure, yeah. I mean, the energy here, the camaraderie, you can tell that everyone here, they come every year, that this is a time for a genuine connection. I mean, for me too, we were talking earlier about some of the other partnerships that Hinge is involved with, and some of those organizations and conferences that I go to outside of the AIM Summit. But the speakers this year, I have been so impressed.
Impressive, for sure.
And I'm really excited about some of the takeaways from some of those sessions and being able to take that back to the team at Hinge.
We'll come back to that because that will be kind of what this episode is about.
Foreshadowing.
We're going to be bringing in a lot of people and attendees who are here at the conference with us. These are marketing leaders, CMOs, and we're going to be asking them what is their pivotal story from the conference. So stick around and watch that with us. Joe, I'm curious. So you've been to this conference a few times. How have you seen the conference change over the years? What's standing out to you this year?
Yeah, I mean, AIM has gone through a revolution in a sense on how they structure this conference to best fit the needs of those that attend it. I mean, they have a significant commitment to accomplishing the goal of listening to people's feedback. I mean, this is my fourth show here, and I've listened. Will, you had mentioned earlier, he's gotten to talk at a few of these. Another one of our partners, Liz Har, was able to speak last year on the Visible Expert Revolution, available on Amazon. And anywhere else? No, I think just Amazon, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, AIM has really also put effort into how they treat their partners as well. So we're sitting in the main hall directly across from where everybody's actually attending most of these sessions. So many great conversations. So many great moments for you, my man, because how many people have walked up to you and made the connection, knowing how long you've been spending time going through on these webinars with AIM, all of these different partnerships initiatives, and now, hey, look, man, you're here in person.
Low-key an AIM celebrity, celebrity status.
Stop, guys, stop. Say more. No, guys, this is probably one of my number one takeaways. So just, we're all marketing people here. We're talking to marketing folks on the call. Think about this from the perspective of us as a marketing agency, marketing our own business, right? We've made this long-standing investment into this relationship with an association. We have done this research report, which we do for them, right? And in return, we receive some visibility with the association. So that means webinars, access to the member directory, a whole bunch of little benefits, right? The summit is the big one, right?
Yeah.
But I've never been to the summit. But I've been a part of a lot of the webinars. I've been a lot of part of the, digital marketing. I'm the one that is bothering people every 2 years to fill out the budget survey, which is pretty much the hardest survey ever to fill out, if we're being honest. So shout out to anyone who took the survey. We really deeply appreciate you. But yeah, so people have seen my name, and being here in person, it's been so great to meet all these people. I recognize all their names. I see their LinkedIn pictures, but now, seeing the actual people in person, I've had a lot of people come up to me. They recognize me for similar reasons. And it's just like a nice payoff. So if you are a marketing person who is investing in partnerships with associations, organizations, make sure you add in that layer of some sort of face-to-face time, because it really, for me, has been like a huge payoff to, all the digital marketing stuff that we've done. But like being able to be here, go to the hotel bar and strike up like conversations that aren't just about business, not just about marketing. I mean, it's been really wonderful. So it's been great. And it's been great for our team. I mean, Mary Blanche, I don't think I've seen you in person in like 2 years.
Might be longer than that.
I don't think so.
3 years?
When was the last time? Austin, how often are you up here?
I remember a happy hour
Yes, I do too.
in Reston.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That was the last time, because the last time you were in the
And that
States,
was
you saw Joe.
I think that was
That was
years ago.
before I moved. So that was 3 years ago.
No, you came back for a wedding. You came back for
I
a
did.
wedding.
Did we see each other?
Are you sure?
Oh,
Are you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
sure?
you were there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you did see me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, 2
Yeah.
years.
So
2 years.
2 years.
It was
Let's
really memorable.
I thought we got that figured
It's
out.
just we're mixing up times. I'm losing track of it.
That's
2
my
years is
pivotal
still a
story,
long
by the
time.
way, is mixing up times.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no getting around that. Travel kind of is tough, right?
Yeah.
You had a hard time, Joe.
I think I've learned the lesson of what it is to be in your upper 30s and thinking that it's a good idea to fly the same day across the country and then try to be on the floor for 10 hours and then survive. My body's pretty much given up on me at that point.
I texted my wife, it's one of those things you hear about, jet lag, right? When I'm in my 20s or, I'm like, I show up at a new place. I'm excited. I'm energized, man. The adrenaline's going. Like, it's all good. What is jet lag? It doesn't matter. It matters. I'm at 35 years old now. I can firmly say, holy smokes. I think going to bed last night, I had never been as tired as I had. MB, how have you been? We were talking earlier about we're going to talk to people about their takeaways, like their pivotal stories from the conference. What has been like one of the big pivotal stories for you coming out of the conference sessions and all that?
Yeah, so when we were talking earlier, I was telling you, I've really been trying to make sure I attended as many sessions as I could, more on the client experience and more the operational data-driven sessions. And there was this one session that was very focused towards client experience and focused on that data.
Mhm.
And we at Hinge talk a lot about leading indicators versus lagging indicators. And the way she kind of chose to frame it in her session was looking at KPIs, key performance indicators, and also being very intentional about pairing each of your KPIs with the KBI, which stands for key behavioral indicators.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was just such an interesting way to take kind of that something that we talk about at Hinge very often, the leading versus the lagging indicators, and kind of reframe it in a way that you can really look at what those company KPIs are and really say, okay, well, what behaviors are we doing to drive ultimately what the goals of each of those KPIs are? And I just love the way that she framed that up, and the way that she kind of just did that section in general. She was also very intentional about getting time with people at your table to kind of understand what some of their pain points are and some of what their common KPIs are, and being able to really tick and tie those KPIs to the KPI. So anyways, I'm going on and on, but I'm really excited to bring that back and how we can infuse that into some of the things that we're doing at Hinge.
I love that. So for me, it was the kind of payoff of being in person, kind of fulfilling that, those marketing partnerships and digital marketing campaigns. For you, it was the KBI presentation and everything you just laid out. Joe, how about you? What's one kind of pivotal story or takeaway that you have from the conference so far?
I think it's seeing the results of our research in action. And that's not just the budget benchmarking study, which we've talked about, and like that's the the cornerstone, if you will, of our partnership with AIM. But you talk about partnerships, you talk about live events, you talk about creating content, something we're doing obviously right now.
Yeah.
And seeing all of these pieces come together as part of a cohesive strategy, because the type of investment it takes to even just set this thing up, like what we're doing right now, and plan it through and talk it and so forth. And then also see all the other ways that when we're not recording content, but actually meeting people and making connections, letting Austin be the celebrity that he is. I mean, all of these different pieces, it's checking the boxes of all of the highest growth tactics that professional services organizations use to be successful. And then, it's validated with what some of these speakers are talking about, the importance of metrics and insights, then gathering data-based decision-making. Like, that's right in line, right? So I think my takeaway is kind of this compilation of all these things coming together, seeing it in action, participating it. And then, the best part is going to be see what's the results that come out of this. I mean, we've got so many great conversations. I mean, you got a website lead within 5 minutes of the coffee line.
Yeah, the coffee line. Yeah.
I mean, so it's just so wild to kind of see all these things come together. It just justifies putting the time and focus into a partnership and an event strategy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. So I think ours were very similar, Joe. And now I'm really excited. We're going to turn to the rest of the episode where we're going to be talking to some of the attendees here. Some of them are going to sit down with the three of us. Others were kind of one-on-one interviews. But we're going to mix that all up together because we know that you want to hear from some of the leaders in the accounting marketing space and what they're taking away from this really important event, one-of-a-kind event. So let's turn now and talk to some of these wonderful people who have brilliant things to say. And let's hear what is their pivotal story from the conference. All right. So who am I here with?
I'm Julia Thompson from Sorren.
All right, Julia. So what is your pivotal story from the conference so far?
Well, I just came from an amazing session about conflict resolution with ACE, and it was so incredible. But I think the biggest takeaway was that everyone wants a good solution, and it should be mutually beneficial. It should be easy to kind of agree that you want to find a good solution. You might disagree on how to get there. You might have different perspectives, even different facts, different information, but remembering you're on the same team and that you want to be successful and you want to grow and you want to push things forward is just so crucial. Just grounds you and helps kind of take a little bit of the emotion and the heightened craziness out of it if you just remember you're on the same team.
Wow. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Julia. Have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, Joe Pope here with the Spiraling Up podcast, and we are at the AIM Summit this year. This is the 2025 edition, and I am joined by Becca Johns, a friend of the pod.
Yeah.
Becca, how's your summit going?
It's awesome. I really enjoy seeing everybody every year. This year's a little different for me. I'm out on my own now, and it's a little lonely sometimes, so I feel like my cup is just so full. Spending time networking with everybody and seeing what everyone's been up to, it's been really awesome.
Making friends out here with the rest of us in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing hooky. It's kind of fun.
Okay, so here's the question. We're just asking, what is the pivotal story of AIM Summit this year?
I think it's the togetherness. It's nice to talk with people on the phone, on Teams, but seeing them in person, I think, is really what the value is for me. Of course, the sessions are awesome. We have some great speakers and presenters, but to me, it's the time to connect one-on-one with people is really like why I keep coming every year.
And this is such a good group, right? I don't think there's another professional services association that puts together a conference like AIM. This is a must attend for all of us, and that's why we're here. And Becca, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. Nice talking with you.
Yep.
All right. So who am I here with now?
Hi, my name is Sarah Avila. I work at GHJ. We're an accounting and advisory firm.
Sarah, what is your pivotal story from the conference so far?
I realized the importance of taking a step back and realizing the why of what your company does, why they do what they do, and using that to really focus on quality over quantity when focusing your marketing efforts.
Have you done anything already, like maybe this year or like fairly recently in like kind of your marketing team to really drive home that message of like quality over quantity? Have you guys produced anything, or have you kind of steered? How have you steered towards that direction a little bit?
Well, as this was brand new, thought bubble or light bulb from this conference, I'm going to be taking it back and really looking at what we can do to make some changes. But it is a concept that had been floating around, especially when looking at our social media. You kind of get dinged a little bit by if you post too much. So, really refocusing that, and then also looking at what we're creating content wise and making sure it's hitting the right audiences with the right message. So I think all of that is going to be huge, and especially as we're looking at redoing some items on our website and really hitting the correct target with activities and other things. I'm going to keep that mantra in my head.
I love that. Thank you so much for talking with me, Sarah. Enjoy the rest of the conference. It's great meeting you.
Great meeting you too.
All right. All right. So who am I here with?
Hey, Melissa Taylor with Melton and Melton down in Houston.
All right. So what is your main pivotal story from the conference this year?
Trust is your North Star. With everything that we're doing in marketing, business development, communications, anything under that role, if we don't have trust within the firm, then there's nothing that we do that matters. We can have all the knowledge with the tech stack. We can have all the skill sets in the world. But if we don't have our partners' trust, there's no reason for us to have any of that skills.
So what's one thing you learned about building that trust? I know there's been a lot of like great presentations that have touched on that topic. Have you taken away anything little practical on building trust across your company?
Oh man, consistency, integrity is just key. Do what you say what you do. And then the old phrase matters. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I just think, your core values, just letting those shine through is really what's just going to, it's going to let yourself shine who you are. And then just we'll perpetuate that trust even further.
Excellent. Well, thank you for talking with us. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
All right. So who am I here with?
My name is Gabe Tevrizian. I'm Director of Growth with CBM in the Washington, D.C. area.
Great to talk to you, Gabe. We're definitely neighbors here in the D.C. area. So, Gabe, what has been the pivotal story for you being here at the AAM conference this year?
From the get-go, I think the level of authenticity, I've been noticing that a lot, whether in the sessions, the brand story and the brand workshops have been really meaningful and really helping firms understand the value of authenticity. So that's kind of one of the key takeaways.
What is one way that in your day-to-day kind of life as a marketing leader, how do you try to demonstrate authenticity?
Gosh, there's a long list of things that I can think of, but clearly the way we articulate our value propositions and the way we connect with the market, and then really following through with the content that we produce really is a game changer when you think about engaging the right audience at the right time. It was just in that session a minute ago, so it's fresh in my mind.
I love that. I love it, Gabe. So thanks for talking with us. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks so much.
All right.
It.
Welcome up to the Spiraling Up podcast. Thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to be with us today. Tell us, what is your name and who are you with?
I'm Rhonda Clark, and I am the Executive Director for the Association for Accounting Marketing.
In other words, you're the one to thank for putting on this wonderful event. Rhonda, how's it all going for you?
The conference has been amazing. I would say I can't take all the credit.
You have a great team.
We do. We have an amazing conference team that works so hard, and they do. From the time this one ends, they immediately start working on the next one. And we also have, I have to thank Samantha Bowerman, our meeting manager, who is fantastic. She's been with us so many years, and she's just such a great asset to have on our team.
I'll echo that. Samantha is amazing, so detail oriented. She gets everything done way ahead of time. She makes it easy for partners. She makes it easy for speakers. She's doing great. But Rhonda, this event has changed so much over the years. I want to know kind of like for this year, what has been kind of the main takeaway? What's been the pivotal story for you? What are you walking away with this year?
Oh gosh, Austin, so much. I mean, again, we really work hard every year. We take the feedback that we receive each year at the end of the conference, and we really take that into consideration on how we can improve for the next year. And so I mean, it's just so many different things. I think one of the main things that we focus on is the content, which is incredibly important. That's what drives people. Well, I'd say the content and the networking is what drives people to the conference for sure. But we really want to understand what our members want to learn about, so and who they want to learn from, and we try to find the best people to talk on those particular subjects. So I feel like every year we continue to elevate the content for the conference. And then also, just again, our members love to come together and be with one another. They love to share and learn, and they just love to connect. So we try to find lots of different networking opportunities for them to come together. Even just like, as you see across the way, we've got our bookmark table where they're creating bookmarks, and they can come together and sit and talk while they're coloring these bookmarks. So just all kinds of different opportunities for them to come together and help grow their networks.
Yep. And we're sitting right next to the sock drive box.
Yes,
and had some wonderful conversations from folks just coming by and dropping off a pair of socks to donate. It's awesome how you've been able to kind of build out this conference to include so many different angles, bringing in philanthropy, creating opportunities for folks to meet each other. You did say something that keep my mind off, which was planning's already started for next year.
Yes.
Any chance you can give us a sneak peek on where that might be?
Yes, I'm happy to share. It's going to be in Palm Springs.
Oh, okay. So we'll be in the sun again.
Yes, back in the desert.
I think I was spreading misinformation. I think I may have told somebody Palm Beach by accident. So I'll have to go and find that person.
Can we edit that?
I can't edit. It was a real life conversation. It wasn't on
conversation.
camera. Yeah, no. Okay, so Palm Springs. That's great.
Yes, Palm Springs.
Well, Rhonda, one thing that we've already told people on the podcast, but I'll reinforce it again, is that this partnership that we do with the Marketing Budget Benchmark Study is an excellent resource. If anyone's listening, you're in the accounting marketing industry, you have to go to AIM's website and buy that report. It is the best data in the industry. It is a one-of-a-kind survey that captures what the fastest growing accounting firms are doing with their marketing budgets. So we're going to be pushing it hard. It is a wonderful project and a resource that you guys provide to your members. And, again, Rhonda, you're crushing it.
Oh, thank you, Austin. And again, we are so grateful and enjoy our partnership with Hinge. Thank you all for, again, partnering this year on the survey with us. We couldn't do it without you.
Yeah. And this has been great for us as well. So it's a great partnership. Thanks for sitting down with us, Rhonda. Go enjoy the rest of the conference, and we'll talk again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, welcome to the Spiraling Up podcast. Thanks for taking a few minutes to be with us today. Tell us what's your name and who are you with?
My name is Brenda Sleeper, and I am a relationship director with the BDO Alliance. We have 258 CPA firms that are part of our program, and we have 186 business resource network firms as well. And the Alliance program has been in effect for over 30 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, today we're asking people, what is your pivotal story for this week at the summit? Now, that could be a key session, maybe an overarching theme, but what has been your pivotal story this week?
Well, I think that the 35th anniversary of AIM, the fact that AIM started here in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And so last night there was a special cocktail reception here, and it was for the Hall of Famers. So, there's a lot of history, nostalgia, the stuff that they brought and had out on the tables of things that were like cassette discs.
Marketing was different back then.
It was really funny. It's really funny now that we look back at it, but that we were state of the art back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was fun, and it was really great to see everybody.
So you've seen the full evolution of AIM then. One of my questions is, what does it take to become an AIM Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that program?
Be old? No. AIM was my passion. I started out as a marketing director at a firm in Massachusetts, and not really understanding that my journey through the accounting industry would be this long. That was 1999. And a year into it, somebody introduced me to AIM. And when you're a marketing director in a CPA firm, you need support, you need services, you need mentors, you need, you know what I mean? So for me, AIM was just so pivotal in my career. And even though I wasn't with a firm for, I've been working like you, I was a vendor, and now I'm in this role. I still, my passion and my heart was still with AIM and helping them grow. So yeah, been a great journey.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Thanks for all that you do for AIM. I mean, I know none of this comes together without, the participation of lots of people coming together and participating. So it's been great meeting you. Thanks for sitting down and talking with us.
Thank you. It's the best thing that's ever happened, I really think, to the
Oh,
industry.
Brenda, that's awesome.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So who are we here with and what's the name of your company?
I work for Colson.
And your name?
My name is Brunella Reid,
Brunella.
and I am a partner and CMO of that firm.
Awesome. Well, Brunella and Brunella's the president-elect of AIM, so congratulations. We're excited to see the direction that you take AIM. The positive directions it's already going, and I know you're going to continue it. But we've been connected in the past, and we met here in person for the first time. Just established that we have a connection, the Brazilian connection. I'm living there right now. You grew up in Brazil, yeah?
That's right. I mean, I was born there. I lived there until I was 16, and
Oh, wow.
I came here as an exchange student. And I didn't know I was going to end up staying. I ended up going to college and everything, and then got my first job, and then I blinked my eye, here I am. I've lived here way longer than I lived in Brazil, but, I go there whenever I can, and I miss it a lot. But yeah, that's where I'm from. A lot of people are like, I didn't know you were from there. Like,
I didn't know either. I mean, that's one of the best things about like coming in person and actually meeting people. You find out these cool things about them. It was just awesome.
I know. Whenever we were the meetup for the first timers, and you said that, I was like, no way, we got to talk.
I know. Yeah, and we did. And it was great. Brunella, we are just asking everybody, what is the pivotal story for you from the conference? What has been like a session that stood out to you, or kind of a primary takeaway? What would be for you?
I think the main thing for me is that how we are really the drivers of growth for our firms, and we cannot forget that. I think that is what I'm walking away with. Like for my role, I am the CMO, but I am looking at the firm overall. What is our strategy? How are we growing? How can I bring these ideas into play at the firm that I'm at? I loved Alex's presentation on just strategy, and I think that's the role we really need to be playing. We need to be stepping back and looking at our firms and seeing what are the gaps, what are we not doing, right? Because the majority of the partners of the firms that we're at, they're really busy. I mean, they're trying their best to run the firm and run it efficiently and do all of that. The role that we need to step into is helping with strategy and driving that growth. So looking at what roles you can play and explaining why that matters and how it fits into your firm in particular. That's when you have to navigate it a little bit. So not everything that you hear may work for your firm.
That's
how
right.
do you digest that down to your market, to your firm, and how you can make an impact for growth for your particular firm.
I love that. Brunella, thank you so much for sitting down with us and sharing your pivotal story. It was great to make the connection in person, and good luck on the upcoming year being president-elect.
Thank you. Appreciate your support.
Yeah,
Thank you, Brunella.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Well, welcome to the Spiraling Up podcast. Tell us what's your name and who are you with?
My name is Caren Rodriguez, and I'm with DMJPS, CPAs and Advisors, based in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Caren, we've been asking everybody that we've talked to today, like, what is your pivotal story or like main takeaway from the conference this year?
I really like the keep, start, stop philosophy. And I think when you're on day 3 of a conference, there's a lot to absorb. So if I think about it through that lens, it's very reaffirming. There are some things that we can keep doing. There are some things that we just need to stop doing. For example, we love data. We love numbers, but we need to stop with the vanity metrics.
Interesting.
And we need to look at numbers and the meaning and behaviors behind those numbers. So when I get back and we look at our reporting and what that means to our initiatives moving forward, I want to make sure that we're not just doing it through a lens of vanity, but what makes real impact in our marketing initiatives and our strategic growth.
Is there a number that really stands out to you, like a metric, for example, that kind of falls into that mindset that you're thinking, I'm pulling that from this summit and I'm going to bring that forward for my firm?
I mean, I guess in the most traditional sense, if you just look at your website, because we're on the eve of potentially making some changes there.
Okay.
It's the old school way of we got 14 million visitors this year, but you really need to know about the behaviors of those visitors and what their journey is through our website and our thought leadership.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Caren, thanks so much for sitting down with us. Have a great rest of the conference. And it's been great learning about your pivotal story.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Caren. All right, guys, welcome back. I am joined directly next to me by my conference bestie. Paul, why don't you introduce yourself, buddy?
Hey, I'm Paul Boechler. I'm the BD and Marketing Manager at Virtus Group in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada.
We already gave a shout out to Saskatoon
Shout out
earlier.
Saskatoon.
Joe said that your session stood out to him. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Paul, the thing really was when you brought up those metrics showing your efforts and how you're taking on content marketing, how you play it across your SEO efforts. And also the thing that really, I think, resonates, and we're hearing it across a lot of sessions, is developing the trust with your partners to put their efforts towards these types of things as well, right? That you're getting buy-in from these folks to contribute.
Rome wasn't built in a day,
That's
but brick by brick, we're slowly laying the foundation. So no, it's been good. It's been good.
Right on, Paul.
Yeah.
So question we are asking people in the hot seat, of which you currently occupy, what is your pivotal story, your key takeaway from AIM Summit 2025?
Okay, so for the last probably 3 years, everybody's been talking about AI this, AI that. The session that I sat in yesterday was so pivotal for my kind of like my understanding of kind of where things are going from an SEO perspective. And optimizing for generative search is by far going to be the most important avenue for us in terms of our SEO efforts and content generation. Thinking about it in a different way than traditional SEO typically would be.
I'm a bit of an SEO wonk myself. I was in the same session. I'm curious, was there like a technical detail, something he called out that you were like, dude, yeah, we haven't done that yet, or we need to accelerate on this front?
I think it was a simple thing. Like it was just one little detail that he added that I was like, that we're going to do that. And I think it's taking the questions that people are asking and using those as your headings and the driving force behind your content. That's such a little tweak that I think is going to have a big impact on the content that we create.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, I took a lot of similar things away. It's changing so quickly. I like how he was honest about the things that we know and the things that we don't know yet. So it's great. I mean, it's a topic we continue to come back to. Anything else you took away?
I mean, there's been a lot of good sessions, right? Even just taking a little bit of time to reflect on kind of what are the things that we can do at our firm to get 10% better,
Yeah.
and move in, a more quantified direction where we can provide actual quantifiable data to our partner group going, this works or this does not work and we need to fix this. So all the sessions have been valuable. I personally like those digital marketing sessions where I can kind of get the creative juices flowing. That tends to be the most fruitful for me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Well, Paul, I'm glad you and Joe have become conference besties, and thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, guys.
All right, well, welcome up to the Spiraling Up podcast. Tell us, what is your name and who are you with?
Sure. My name is Joe Kovacs. I am founder and managing director of Kovacs Communications, relatively new marketing consultancy serving the accounting industry. I recently left my in-house role. I'd been working in-house for more than 15 years, so this is a big change for me.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks for taking the time and take a couple minutes with us. Today, we are asking folks, what has been your pivotal story from the conference this week? That could be a key session, maybe an overarching theme, but what is the pivotal story this week for you?
Yeah, so I'll break that into two parts. First, we'll start with the sessions. I was in a great session yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that looked at not only the value of KPIs and key performance indicators, but also KBIs, which are key behavior indicators. So what behaviors lead to those KPIs? And I'm sure the concept's been around for a while, but I'd never seen it broken down like that. So I thought that was really cool. The second part of my answer is just going to be the networking, because I've been coming to the AIM Summit for 15 years now. So I usually tend to have a plan coming here, But then I run into someone, or I'm sitting at a table to do something, and then someone drops by, and that organic aspect of it is a very positive thing. The interruptions are great; they're part of the experience.
Well, I love that you brought up the session with the KPIs and the KBIs. I was also in that session, and I went on and on about it earlier. I just loved the way that she took kind of a common like leading and lagging indicators and kind of reframed that for the group. And then I also loved the way that we really had a chance to interact with the other people at our table and kind of understand what are some of their KPIs and, how they see tying those KPIs to some of those things going forward.
Yeah, no, you put that really well. I do like the idea of the lead and the lagging indicators. I mean, because what you do now, the ultimate goal, the ultimate outcome, it might not happen right away. It's not supposed to happen, right? That's why you have what you do today and what you hope for in the future. If you're doing the right thing now, your chances of achieving what you want to achieve, that big goal that never gets done at one time, you're more than likely to get there.
Joe, thanks so much for sitting down and telling us about your pivotal story. Good luck with the new venture.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, Joe.
All right, so who are we here with? What firm do you work for?
My name's Apoorv Dwivedi. I'm with Fixyr Marketing.
And I got to give you a quick shout out. I mentioned earlier we did the marketing budget benchmark study. Apoorv was critical in helping us to make the study even better this year. So thank you for your
you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, so what is the pivotal story for you from the conference? What is something you took away this year?
So from the 2025 AAM Summit, I'd say probably the key takeaway for me, the key theme that I've been hearing over and over is the integration of different aspects around growth, right? So everything from marketing to BD to, even the keynote speaker day one kicked it off, Keith Ferrazzi, right? And he shared some really good insights around growth strategies that even smaller firms can use, right? So it's not just like, here's a kind of single approach or, kind of getting into like tactical marketing stuff about one specific thing. You have to do this one thing or that one thing. But it's kind of like that overarching theme. And I think people are starting to look a lot more strategically at growth for their accounting practices, for their advisory practices. And they're looking at, okay, how do we integrate all these different components, right? Customer experience, marketing, right? BD, all this type of stuff, right? So just to kind of put all that together.
Yeah, and Apoorv, I know you've been coming to this conference now for probably the same time as me, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I think this is my 5th one in a row.
Right. Yeah. So in terms of the evolution that you've seen in this integration, like, what does that look like? Is there certain areas? Is there certain themes that have come out from just seeing this over time that resonate with you? Like that's driving this, if you will?
Yeah. So, 5 years ago, it wasn't even that long when you really think about it, right? But what happened in that time period, right? So we're coming out of COVID, right? There's been a lot of changes in the market with government and policies. There's you're seeing a lot of outside pressure from like private equity firms and folks like that as well. That's all kind of being on top of the state of the industry with staffing shortages, with a lot of people looking at potentially exiting the business. So there's just like a whole bunch of catalysts of change and stuff coming together, right? It's like in the last 4 or 5 years, it's been kind of brewing for like 10, 12 years or so more, but like particularly in the last few years, it's coming together more and more. And it used to be more of kind of like an outside thing. Now it's like it's a discussion we're having all the time, right? In a lot of the different sessions. So you really kind of see the marketers are more kind of in tune with helping firms to adapt and stay ahead of everything that's going on externally.
That, to me, that's the evolution take, right? Yeah. They're more in tune. They're more involved, right? Whereas I think 4 or 5 years ago, I remember the Louisville conference specifically that stands out to me. There was a lot of like, we're trying to coach the marketers to even take on this type of role. Yeah. And now you're just seeing it naturally. And now it's how do we optimize? How do we improve?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Apoorv, thanks for sitting down with us. We appreciate it. It's been great to hear from you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Always my pleasure. Just a shout out to the folks at Hinge and the studies that you guys do. For those of you that are out there, there is really no other place in the industry where you can get that information. So we really love the work that you guys do.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
All right, producer John, tell us what is your name and who are you with?
I am producer John, also John Tyreman, and I am with Red Cedar Marketing, which is the marketing company that I run. And and I'm happy to be here with you guys and producing the Spiraling Up podcast. It's a lot of fun.
John is also a former Hinge. So all of us, Joe, Mary Blanche, myself, we've been at Hinge a while. We all worked together, John, back in the day, back in the office in Reston. This is such a throwback, man. I mean, we've been working on the podcast now for over a year, but here we are, like in person again. It's been great catching up with you. How have you been enjoying the conference?
This is my first time at the AIM Summit, and I gotta say I love everything about it because like you said, I worked at Hinge. That was my first job out of college. The very first day that I walked into Hinge, I sat down and Lee Frederickson said, "All right, John, here's your first assignment," and it was the AIM budget benchmark study.
Full circle.
In 2013. Yeah. So I worked on that study in 15 and 17 and I think 19. And that's been just a kind of like a core part of my career. And so finally I was in a position to where I could become an AIM member and attend the conference. And it's just been great. It's a fantastic event. Anybody who is involved in accounting marketing should definitely consider a membership and come into the summit.
Yeah, agree. So, John, listen, one thing we're asking people this week is what has been their pivotal story for the week, for the summit? And for some people, that has been a key session or maybe a key insight. For some people, it's more of an overarching theme. But tell us, what's your pivotal story?
I think, honestly, how approachable and how friendly people are. I don't think I've eaten alone at any point during the conference. There's always somebody who's, hey, can I join you for lunch? Or if I sit down, they're very welcoming. And people are so willing to strike up conversations here. And honestly, it's different than other conferences that I've been to where people can be a little bit more standoffish. I also like the amount of people that are here. It's not too big.
Yeah.
It's not too small. You see new faces, but also the same faces again and again. And that's a great recipe for forging new friendships and new connections.
So, John, you are clearly up here helping, representing yourself. I know you've been helping us out. Producer John is your name, obviously. But in terms of what you've been able to see on your side of the house, being able to have some great conversations, anything real key takeaways there?
Well, we talked about this a little bit, but I'm the guy with the hat. And I didn't realize how big of a hit that was going to be. I just thought, hey, I could get a little bit of brand visibility for one of my podcasts, Breaking Biz Dev. But I've become the hat guy.
You are the hat guy.
And I can't believe the ROI on this $30 hat has just been astounding. So.
I was going to say, I thought when we asked what's your pivotal story, you were going to jump straight into the hat because, I was with you earlier when someone came by and said, dude, that's a great hat. And, we're here in Arizona and you've got like the Breaking Bad vibes with the hat and the branding. I mean, dude, this couldn't have worked out better for you.
I've had people come up to me and they've said, you stand out, you're different. And as a marketer, I think they respect that a little bit. And so that it has been kind of cool.
That's awesome. Well, John, you've made it happen for us here at the AIM event. You've helped us record this. We really appreciate all the work you've put into helping make Spiraling Up successful. And it's been great spending time with you.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you, MB. Thank you, Joe. And if you're listening to this right now, like the YouTube channel, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. The Spiraling Up podcast coming at you. Episodes every other week. It's an awesome show.
Attaboy. Thanks, John.
What a great producer.
All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, smart people here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Unbelievably smart people here. I'm hearing a lot of themes about building trust across the organization, right?
That was the word.
Yeah,
that was the word over and over and over.
I'm hearing a lot about, kind of technology and like taking strides forward this year, not kind of not just sitting in your CRM system that's got all these big problems, but actually taking action. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the trust one was like the one that kept coming back up over and over again, especially for the accounting industry. That they're working with all these distributed partners and experts across the organization. How do they get more involvement, and how do they get more buy-in from those experts? That really stood out to me in some of these conversations. But yeah, really brilliant people, great event. Have you guys had a good time?
Yeah.
I mean, MB met her conference bestie.
I did, you guys.
Yeah, you do have a conference bestie.
I do have a conference
West,
bestie.
completely other side of the country too.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's just a really good. It just shows like what the kind of people that are here and the kind of connections that you can make. A lot of the things that you were just saying, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you learned a lot from this episode. If you haven't heard about AIM before, you can go and visit their website at I think it's accountingmarketing.org. We'll get you we'll put the link on the screen.
Producer John.
Put the link on the screen. But yeah, great episode, great event. It was so great to see you guys in person. We've already hit the hotel bar a couple times. We still have got one more night together, so making the most out of our time together as a team,
making core memories,
making new memories, meeting new friends. So thank you guys on behalf of Joe, Mary Blanche, myself, and producer John, who's here with us. John, great job, man. This has been great. Thank you guys for watching Spiraling Up, and we'll see you on the next episode.